A misnomer is that the IB is unstructured.
EQ is more important than IQ.
That I think it's just about the time.
What that blended program is,
Expands your worldview, gives you the discipline.
most teachers now, are they trained in teaching IB? IB or not? And that's the question. So many of us mothers are so confused about what to choose and what not to choose for our children. Many of us have not really studied in this system of education, and therefore it's very natural to feel unsure and completely swayed by misconceptions. I know I was when I was choosing a schooling method for my older one. I was so confused and very, very swayed by misconceptions. Today, we're here to unpack what an IB education actually gives our children, what we should expect, and what we absolutely shouldn't. And who better than the people who live and breathe education? Founded by Pinky Dalal, JBCN Education is a network of preschools and 5 K-12 international schools spread across Mumbai, nurturing almost 6,500 children and 850 educators. Today we have with us the managing directors of JBCN Education, Kunal Dalal and Himali Dalal. Together they bring a learner-centric progressive approach to education. We're here to discuss IB and so much more. Hi, I'm Sneha Javeri, your fellow mommy friend and the host of Mumma Approved, a podcast where I ask all your questions to the best people in the business. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know this has taken a lot to kind of take time from a busy schedule, but thank you for joining me. If you had to give a vote of confidence to a parent who is intimidated, because this sounds very intimidating to new parents, because it's too new, too complicated. If you had to give confidence to that mother and say that, listen, this is why you don't need to worry, you don't need to think anything through, and you can take that leap of faith and jump, what would that be?
So I think it's a combination of things. One is, I think, as Kunal said, today it's not about what information you have. It's about what you do with the information you have.
Yeah.
I think information is available on our phones.
Yeah.
ChatGPT will give you anything you want.
Yeah.
I think it's what you do with that information that's important. So it's the skills that you're building that are important. And I think the program lends itself beautifully to build those skills in the children from a very young age.
Yeah.
So I think that is one aspect of it. Two is, I think I would talk to them saying that, we believe that there is no rigor, but I have seen it. I've seen my one of my kids is now in grade 7.
Yeah.
One is in grade 2, and there is rigor.
Yeah.
So I think that fear that, oh my God, they won't learn, that doesn't exist. Just because they don't get homework home doesn't mean they don't know their concept.
Right.
And I think that ultimately is the most important thing. And I've seen the kind of rigor, the kind of work that goes on in the DP program. I think it does two things beautifully. It expands your worldview.
Yeah.
And it gives you the discipline that most of us seem to want as Indian parents. We want our children to have that discipline of studying, of giving an exam.
Of learning, basically.
Of learning. I think we all went through it. Maybe somewhere a part of us wants it.
Yeah.
And I think that does exist. So I think the IB blends the two very beautifully.
Right.
And I think when the kids are younger, it is not so important for them to know and to rote learn. I think it is more important for them to develop. Develop thinking skills, develop empathy, develop logical reasoning, develop research skills. Because that's what's going to carry you forward when you go abroad. And one of the things when I went abroad to study, I think my first 6 months was spent learning how to do all these things.
Yeah.
Learning how to research, learning how to write correctly, learning how to do all those things, because
and learning also how to apply,
learning how to apply, because I wasn't
and be
doing
independent.
that. Being an independent learner, like Kunal said. I think that today my kids are independent learners. So, I think it doesn't matter. The content is important, but I don't think it's the be all and end. So I really do feel that the skills that they develop will carry them far.
Yeah.
If I could add to this,
Yes.
I would tell a young parent who's not so sure. Firstly, I would tell them it's important that you align a school with the core philosophy that you have.
Yeah.
I think it's okay whether you choose the IB program or you don't choose the IB program. I think if you give the right values and the relevant education to your kids, they'll be good. So I think that's one part. If they are inclined towards the IB but unsure, I think the one thing that will give them confidence is to interact with IB children.
Yes.
For me, that is one single point for any parent. If you go out there and interact with IB students of different ages, you will get a sense that, hey, does this match my philosophy? Is this the direction that I want my kids to grow up in? Or is this a direction I don't want them to grow up in? And there's no right and there's no wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying that you want your kids to be like someone, just the general direction in which you want them to go. I think an IB student is the biggest ambassador
of the
IB program. None of us sitting over here, with all due respect to all the 900 faculty that we have in JBCN, none of them are ambassadors to the program like an IB student is.
Right. I completely agree. Because eventually it's the product, right? It has to be...
And you can tell it is natural. When you converse with them on any topic, it is a natural conversation, not pre-planned, not prepared, not saying, hey, these are the right things I have to say. It will naturally come to them. They will naturally question you. They'll naturally engage with you in a conversation where you're like,
blown away.
12-year-old is talking to me like...
Absolutely.
Recently in one of our schools, sorry, I'm just going to take a minute, we had a speaker talking about investments.
Yes.
So we do this program on EM, which is entrepreneurship management.
Wow.
Where we teach them the importance of entrepreneurship, risk-taking ability, problem solving, so on and so forth, we think it's an important skill.
Absolutely.
That is required. Our 7th and 8th grade learners were questioning an expert in entrepreneurship and investments about crypto, reserves in gold and what it means, currency fluctuation and why currency is not a good form of investment. I was there because the person we had got is someone known. And I think I was amazed, but I think he was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, he could not imagine that this is the conversation.
He possibly thought he'll have to dumb this whole thing down because there are 12-year-olds and I'm
12 and 13-year-olds. And it was an incredible conversation.
Wow. So, that is such a proud moment.
Just to add to what Kunal is saying, I mean, he's talking about 12-year-olds, but I will say that my 7.5-year-old, the last unit, the culmination was a Shark Tank.
Oh,
so
wow.
all of them were in groups and they researched.
If you want to just explain what a culmination is.
So it's at the end of a unit that has been going on for 5 to 6 weeks, depending on the time frame of the year that the unit is in. They learned about organizations, how organizations work, how do you sell a product, how do you do all. So at the end of the unit, as opposed to what you would call an assessment, an exam, they did what was a Shark Tank. So they were divided in groups. They researched a logo. They came up with their own logo. They took into account that it was sustainable. So they all created their own products. Keeping those things in mind. They had, and a DP learner was their mentor. So they worked together with another student and they presented this to the parents who were the sharks.
How lovely.
And they were graded. And just the confidence, the things they learned through this process, the questions they asked, how do you price a product? How do you sell a product? What do you say about the product? How do you market your product? I think that learning is irreplaceable.
Wow, that is phenomenal. I mean, and what an exposure, right?
Outstanding.
And what kind of confidence do kids have that they're able to present like this in front of parents? I think and definitely I feel like something like stage fright, something as simple as stage fright.
I don't think they know
it doesn't exist.
I don't think they know.
I don't think it exists. I mean, I completely agree with you.
I
hear
have
you.
Stage fright, and
I have stage fright, and I absolutely
still have it.
I sometimes take a page out of what my kids are, because I'm just like, this is how I should be. Like I should be so fearless.
I think I learn from them every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do.
So the other very, very important thing that is happening today is mental health and the rigor and all of that, what we want. That the flip side or the downside to it is that kids also are self-motivated and the parents are highly motivated. And that leads to a lot of pressure on the children. And we're seeing a lot of very bad incidences of stress, anxiety, all of that. Does this curriculum also support that aspect? As a school, also if you can maybe tell me about that, but also as a curriculum, does it support and acknowledge anxiety, mental health issues, and what are the steps that are taken to kind of address this?
So if you look at the PYP chart, and everything the PYP stands for, and if you look at the IB program and the MYP as well, they have all these different facets and skills, and they have, the terms that you have to use. But if you look at the center, it says learner agency. So at the end of the day, the program tells the school that everything you do in the 8 hours for the 200 days that they are in your school has to be focused on what is the best use of those 40 minutes between a teacher and a learner in that classroom. Because every decision you take is about learner agency. It's about the learner. So when a program guides you in that direction, I think given today's times, having a really strong mental health program is inevitable. Having said that, again, my strong belief is that it's a program that is run well across many schools, irrespective of the board. But definitely in IB schools, it's something that is a really strong emphasis. And I'll let Himali talk more about it because she actually heads the socio-emotional learning program across all our JBCN schools.
Wow.
What I can say is that age-appropriate conversations, communication, talking about things, whether it's a good touch, bad touch, whether it's about body shaming, and whether it's about bullying, whether it's simply about expressing your emotions of how you're feeling today, why you're feeling a certain way, I think takes the entire mental health very, very far. And that really helps. And there are simple tools, simple conversations. We have an entire enrichment cell. So every school has special educators, child psychiatrists, child counselors who will be involved in training the teachers who will also implement this entire program. And I think it is, like I said earlier, I think EQ is more important than IQ, and it's really important to build the right EQ in every learner today.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure Himali will have a lot to kind of add on to that.
So I think talking about SEL, of course, the IB program lends itself beautifully to including that in the curriculum, but I don't think it's curriculum dependent.
Okay.
I think mental health is a sign of the times that our children live in. It is the pressures they have. It is the social media. So yes, of course, a curriculum can lend itself to it, but I think as a school, it's what the school is doing for it.
Yes.
I think it's the efforts that you put in. So
basically, my question is that in most schools, and especially maybe the times were different when we were growing up, but in most schools, I don't see acknowledgement of this phenomenon.
So to talk about it, I mean, again, I can talk about most schools, but obviously more specifically about what we do. But what we do is, and what we have decided to do is, we are not treating SEL as a separate component.
Okay.
It is embedded into the curriculum.
Yeah.
So there are two ways to do it. One is we do have a separate session run by the SEL, which talks about very specific incidences possibly that are going on in the classroom. There might be one class where you might have a child who is slightly differently abled, so maybe they're working through acceptance in that classroom, talking about how differences are great, and it's okay, everybody is different. There could be a class where we have a new learner that has come in that is perhaps struggling in that classroom. And so maybe they're talking about how to be open-minded, how to have friends, how to make friendships. So there's a lot of different stuff that we are doing through our SEL program. But as I said, we're looking at it twofold. One is we're not looking at it separately. We're saying it has to be done within the curriculum. So when our learners did the Shark Tank, or last year when they did one of the other units of inquiry, it focused on emotions. It talked to them about what does it mean. So I have my 8-year-old who comes and tells me, Mama, if your cup is not full, how does that work? Or sometimes when she's very upset, she'll be, Mama, I think my cup is very full. I need to empty my cup. Now, this is not terms that I used when I was 7.5.
Yeah, so it's great. I think the school actually communicates this with us as parents, that these are the words, because we don't know these words. So when they come and say, you dipped my bucket, I'm just like staring and I'm saying, I don't even know what that means though. Like, so you're right.
If I can just add one thing.
I think we work a lot with including it within, and as I said, the DP lends itself beautifully to doing that, because they have a lot of learner attributes that are related to mental health. One of the important things they have is resilience, which is a very, very important factor of what we go through today, because while success is great, I think what defines all of us is how we deal with failure.
Absolutely.
Because that is a part of our life, and it's a part, it's something we have to accept. Absolutely. So how we really deal with it, how we get up and wake up the next day and say, hey, I'm still going to do it. I think those are important lessons to learn as well.
I was just quickly going to add, so the way the training is done with all the teachers is every time they make a unit plan or a lesson plan on the mode of inquiry, apart from the content, and this is where the how of teaching comes in, we focus on, for this unit, what are the skills that we want to teach the learners? What are the values we want to teach them? And what are the emotions we want to teach them? So every time a plan is made, and every time hundreds of teachers are working and making different plans in different schools of ours, these three things are kept in mind. So like Himali said, it's very embedded in our culture. Something that we always speak about. My mom, who's the chairperson of the organization who started this, always says that I want it to be a happy place. I want to make sure that learners, parents, teachers, anyone who walks into a JBCN school is happy. And that's the culture we've built. And so hence the entire mental aspect and the socio-emotional learning is kind of part of our program. And it's very deep-rooted.
And it's something we believe in very strongly. I think, when mom started running Children's Nook, and as Kunal said it, the first line of the song of the school is Children's Nook is a happy place. So that was always...
I went to Children's Nook.
That's right.
I was her first batch.
It's amazing. I love, life comes in full circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think, as Kunal said, that to us is the most important.
But I think that it's important because it's important to acknowledge that this exists. When a school is, when schools acknowledge that, yes, this is it. This is how it is. The kids are feeling it. The kids are going through it. There is a lot of emotional turbulence. And if we accept it, even as parents and as a school, then we work together with kids.
And I think a lot of schools would be very open in their communication with the learners. What's important is for us parents, when they come home, to also take out that time to have those conversations with the kids. Because sometimes everyone's busy, there's a lot going on.
I don't think it's busy. I think it's more, and we were in fact discussing it before you guys came, that we are confused.
Sometimes
as parents.
We don't have the information.
And also we are confused because we feel like if the kids are independently learning, we want to also say that, oh, but this is how it should be done, and they're just staring at you. They're like, excuse me, like the message I'm getting is too confused. Like, what is it? So I think parents need the rigor from the school.
We should start training for parents instead of teachers.
I think so. The culmination should be for the parents. So, of course, when parents choose an IB kind of curriculum, they want to keep the option of kids going abroad. Not to say that kids from other boards can't or don't go abroad, but of course, this does make it a slightly easier stepping stone to choosing universities abroad and all of that. So, does the school is the school involved in this process? Back in the day, people used to get outside agencies, if you remember. When we were in school,
Yes.
we used to get outside agencies to kind of help us through, because the school was like, you've passed your 10th, we're done. Now you're on your own.
Yeah.
How does the IB system help hone, support all of that when the child is moving from, say, the 12th grade to either abroad or specialized courses or all of that? How does one help? And this is important because, and I think parents should think that this is important, because when you're choosing a particular A school, B curriculum, you need to, this is your end goal eventually.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you can just.
So just a couple of things that come to my mind that I'll share.
Yeah.
One is, I think a common question that if you do an IB program, do you have to go abroad?
Yes.
If I can quickly answer that, I think a lot of learners and a lot of kids do want to go abroad.
Yes.
But there are enough students that can stay back in India post the IB program. It's only if you want to do an engineering degree or a medical degree in India, that the 11th, 12th program for the IB gets a little difficult.
Yeah.
Because they have the common entrance tests, which are at the same time as your grade 12 diploma exams. And in all these years of running schools, we have seen only one student that did the IB and cracked the common entrance test.
Wow.
And did it. But I mean, I think that student would have
it's one of a kind.
It's one of a kind. She would have done well irrespective of the board she was in.
Yeah.
So if it is any other profession apart from that, the IB program lends itself really well to students to build the right schools, the right skills, I beg your pardon, and still stay back in India. We do have students going into an Ashoka, for example, which has become a really, really good, one of the top universities, and it's proud as
Indian
an Indian
university,
to have a university like that. So we do have a lot of students who may stay back or do law, for example.
Yes.
We've had students go to OP Jindal for the law program. So firstly, I thought I should clear the misconception that if you do the IB, you have to go abroad.
Yeah.
In terms of the career counseling space, again, I'll say all the top IB schools would have a really strong in-house career program.
Okay.
So we have, for example, I can share a little bit more specific about what we do. We have a very strong career cell in every JBCN school.
Right.
They start working with learners from grade 6.
Okay.
So grade 6 and 7 is more exploration, understanding what are your passions, what are the areas that you're good at, that you want to focus in. And then towards 8th and 9th, it's about subject selection.
Yes.
Because the subjects you select in the IGCSE are very important for what you do in the DP and for what program that you can potentially go for.
Yes.
There's also a focus on resume building, building your profile. I think today universities have become really smart. It's not about doing 3 months social service or one sport or one instrument for 1 year. They want to see deep engagement.
Absolutely.
They want to see learners who are taking up programs and projects that they're really passionate about, that they're really contributing towards, and not just ticking the box.
Yeah.
So the career cell is really involved with every learner in making sure that they can follow through with their passion or what they're interested in or what they could potentially be interested in.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not sure at that age.
Right.
So the career process, the profile building starts then. And then as you get towards the end of 10th and early 11th is when you say, hey, let's start narrowing down the potential universities, the countries, given the recent state in the world.
Absolutely.
The country that you choose has become equally important.
Absolutely.
So choosing the countries, then the universities.
So the parent and the school and the child work in unison?
Absolutely.
Or is it the school and the child? How does it work?
So there are common meetings with the parent and the learner.
Okay.
There'll be individual meetings with the learner because sometimes they have a different mindset.
Then the parent.
And then there are individual meetings with the parents. The individual meetings with the parents are usually more guidance sessions to guide them that, hey, this is what your kid wants, and let's embrace that rather than challenge it. So it ends up being more of a counseling session rather than a career counseling session.
Correct.
But all 3 sessions happen. It is timetabled in the weekly schedule.
Yeah.
So it is regular meetings that happen. And then it's, from choosing your universities to the entire SOPs to the letter of recommendations, the entire process. I think for us, what's important is not just ensuring that our students get into the right university, but ensuring they thrive in that university.
Absolutely.
And hence, yes, everyone wants a Harvard and a Stanford and an Oxbridge, but I think understanding your kid, understanding where they will thrive, where they'll be happy, where they will be able to really flourish, is more important than getting to a specific university. We strongly believe that, and our career cells work with that kind of ethos and philosophy, and that's why sometimes the career the counseling bit is with the parents to kind of make them understand the journey, because
not put your dreams on them and let them fly.
Exactly. And getting into university is just the smallest aspect of it, right? You have to survive 3 years or 4 years,
and then you have to get onto the real world.
So how you thrive in that university is more important than getting into the university.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what the career cell does. It's a very long, detailed, engaging process. I always tell parents that your counselor is like your doctor. You got to have enough faith in the counselor that if the doctor says this is the medicine you take, you don't argue. You don't argue, right? You just take it. The same way, while it's always a two-way conversation, but you have to have faith in that counselor. And hence our counseling team is quite large across all the schools, because different learners will build that comfort with different counselors in the system. And once you build that, it's that rapport and it's that sense of trust that you build. That one-on-one sessions are very important, because the learner is kind of opening up on what their dream is, what they want to do, what they can't do, what the pressures are externally, and so on and so forth.
Thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing. And even though I have made my choice, but I'm so glad I made the choice after talking to you. Thank you so much. This was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. It's been lovely, being here, having these conversations. And, it's always really nice, I think, for us also to understand what the parents want to know. So these conversations help us a lot to understand what young parents or parents today are thinking of, what their fears are, what their doubts are, and it's great to learn from conversations like this. So
thank you so much. Thank you.